I'm Nick Bogacz from Caliente Pizza Draft House. We have 5 locations here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We started with our first shop in 2012. I was in the pizza business since 1996, and I started as a pizza delivery driver. And I've always wanted my own pizza shops, plural. So when I decided to start looking for my own pizza shop, I was running a store for a corporate franchise in Oakland, which is our University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon and the real happening spot in Pittsburgh. So I decided to go ahead and start looking for a pizza shop there. So I'd walk into pizza shops that were existing and I'd tell the guy, hey, sell me your pizza shop. And he was like, get the hell out of here. So the 5th shop that I walked in, they said, my buddy has a shop for sale over in Bloomfield, which is about 5 minutes from the University of Pittsburgh. So I walked into that store and it was a full pizza kitchen, everything I needed. But the only problem is there was a full bar. And I kept saying, oh no, it's a bar. And the numbers matched up and everything matched up and it looked like it was going to be a perfect setting. And I kind of just embraced the bar aspect of it, even though that was isn't what I wanted. I just wanted to pick up and delivery. And for the next 6 months, I kept saying, all I wanted was a pizza shop. And I really started to learn everything about the bar business. And I realized real quickly that if you could get these specialty kegs at the time and specialty beers, you'll put butts in seats. So I made it an effort to get all the specialty beer I could and start doing special tappings on Fridays and Saturdays to bring in as much help or as much beer as I could and to bring in as much special beer. So for example, Mad Elf was a big beer made by Trogs. And you would go ahead and call up the beer distributor and say, hey, send me a barrel of Mad Elf. And they would say, well, you never bought it before. And I would say, well, you know, I need it because people are going to come for it. And they said, well, you didn't buy all the other Trogs all year long. And I said, well, that's because I've only been open 3 months and they wouldn't send you the special beer. So I would start looking at all the other big beer bars. I said, I want to be like these big guys in Pittsburgh. There were Smokin' Joe's and Fat Heads and some really big ones here in Pittsburgh. So I'd look at their draft list, try to buy the same beer they had. Then I found one that was about 30 miles from Pittsburgh that had a totally different draft list than anybody in Pittsburgh, and it was really popular. The place was called Sounds like it would be a place that would have a lot of different beers, and they sure did. What they were doing was they were going all the way over to Philadelphia because it's the 3rd biggest beer market in the States, and they were bringing back beer to Pittsburgh that they don't have in Pittsburgh. And they were buying it off a beer distributor and then kind of quote-unquote bootlegging it back over here to Pittsburgh. Well, what I realized early on was that's illegal. So I asked my lawyer, how do you do it? And he had said, well, you can't, if you own a liquor license in Pennsylvania, you can't grab any other beer from anybody but a beer distributor. You can't transport it in your car. So I said, well, what about my wife? She's not on a liquor license. Could she buy one of these transport licenses? And he said, yeah, that would work. So we bought a transport license for my wife. We drive all the way over to Philadelphia, grab $5,000 worth of beer, bring it back, and then a month later, we'd go back and grab $7,000 worth of beer. The 3rd trip, we grabbed $10,000 worth in a Suburban that we rented and drove with the ass end dragging across the turnpike all the way to Pittsburgh. And I said, once everywhere the word gets out that we have all this beer that nobody else has, we're going to become popular. And we did. And that was within the first 9 months. And I was watching also a ton of Bar Rescue. You know, I'd go home after these 18-hour days, and I wasn't watching SportsCenter anymore. I was watching Bar Rescue, or I was on the internet trying to learn about breweries. And one thing John Taffer would do is he'd say if your store is already, you know, a successful place that he goes in, he doesn't change the whole name. He just tweaks the last part. Because we were going to change the whole name right away. But then when I realized that we were successful already, we went from Caliente Pizza and Bar to Caliente Pizza and Draft House.